Beloved friends, gather your hearts and minds, for today I shall speak to you about a truth profound and oft overlooked. A truth that, until embraced, holds captive the spirit and bars the soul from healing. It is a truth hidden within the sacred bond of a mother and child. You will never heal until you understand this about your mother. She is not merely the woman who bore you. She is the living embodiment of sacrifice, love, and struggle, complex and imperfect, yet eternally intertwined with your being. Listen carefully, for there is a truth that must be seen with the heart, a truth that many fail to grasp as they seek healing from wounds that run deep. Your mother carried you not just in her body, but she bore a burden far greater than mere flesh and bone can tell. The pain she carried was not always visible. It was a pain woven from endless sacrifice, quiet endurance, and silent suffering. It is a pain born from the moment life began within her womb, and it stretches far beyond the physical, into the realm of the emotional and unseen. Imagine the dawn breaking over a humble village where a woman rises before the sun, not to seek comfort, but to labor with weary hands. Her feet are tired, her back bent, her spirit worn, yet she pushes forward. This is no story of weakness, but of unyielding strength. A strength born from love so fierce it compels her to sacrifice everything for those she holds dear. This woman, like many mothers before her and after, embraces hardship with a heart full of hope. Though the world offers her little in return, she swallows her pain silently so her children might taste a sweeter life than the one she has known. Consider Fatima, a name not just of a woman but of countless mothers whose lives echo in its sound. She toiled under the relentless sun, her hands roughened by the soil, yet tender in their care. Each scar on her skin tells a story of struggle, each wrinkle a testament to nights spent awake, praying for her children's future. Though her lips may rarely speak of her pain, it is present in every action. The missed meals, the worn shoes, the sacrifices unseen. This pain, often hidden behind a veil of stoicism, is the silent thread that binds her love to her children. Your mother's love is not a simple thing. It is not always the gentle touch or the comforting words that we expect. Often, it is love wrapped tightly in the fabric of her own suffering, a love that asks for no thanks and offers no complaints. She has borne the weight of your life within her, and in doing so, she carried the weight of dreams deferred, hopes dimmed, and her own desires set aside. To see this is to begin to understand the depth of her love and the price she paid to bring you into the world. Many do not recognize this cost. They see only the outward acts, sometimes the harshness born from exhaustion or the strictness imposed by fear and responsibility. Yet, beneath these actions lies a heart burdened by its own wounds, a heart that beats in rhythm with your own. To heal, therefore, one must first acknowledge this profound truth, that your mother's love is inseparable from her pain, that her sacrifices are the very soil from which your life has sprung. Without this recognition, healing remains elusive. You may seek to mend your wounds, but you will only scrape the surface. The true healing begins when you look deeply and see the mother, not as a figure of fault or blame, but as a woman who gave everything she had, who bore the unseen scars so that you might walk freely. When you honor this, a door opens. A door to empathy, forgiveness, and ultimately, peace. So do not rush to judge or condemn. Instead, hold your mother's pain as sacred, for in that pain lies the wellspring of your being. Let this understanding be the balm that soothes your restless spirit, the key that unlocks the chains binding your heart. Only then can the wounds of the past begin to heal and the light of compassion begin to shine upon the path ahead. Do not seek perfection in your mother, for she is but flesh and spirit, bound to the limitations of her own existence. It is a grievous error to demand from her a flawless love or an unblemished kindness, for she walks a path laden with her own struggles, shadows, and fears that weigh heavy upon her heart. The harsh words she may have spoken, the moments of coldness or neglect you remember, these are not born from hatred or ill will, but rather are the echoes of wounds she herself has carried in silence. I have witnessed many sons and daughters, burdened by deep wounds inflicted not by cruelty, but by the unspoken pain of their mothers. These wounds are the result of scars left untouched, memories not healed, and burdens not released. A mother who seems distant or stern is often one who has cried in solitude, whose exhaustion is masked beneath a veil of strength, and whose silence is not indifference, but a refuge from her own unheard sorrows. To see your mother only as the source of your pain is to gaze upon a mere surface, a shadow cast on a wall, and mistake it for the entire reality. She is a mirror reflecting not just the errors you judge, but also the long chain of suffering carried through generations before her. The harshness you perceive may be the echo of wounds passed down like a hidden inheritance. Pain unspoken, grief unshared, and love tangled with hurt. Imagine the mother who, in her youth, was herself a child of hardship, whose own mother loved her in a way shaped by scarcity and sorrow. This cycle continues unless one chooses otherwise. Your mother's imperfections are not isolated acts of failure, but part of this greater story, a story you have the power to rewrite. If you look deeper, beyond the surface of resentment and disappointment, you may glimpse a heart struggling beneath the weight of unseen burdens. Recognizing this is the first step toward healing. It requires courage to lower the sword of judgment and raise the lamp of understanding. By seeing your mother not just as she is, but as what she has endured, you begin to free yourself from the chains of bitterness. You understand that her failures were not against you, but against the circumstances that shaped her, and by extension, yourself. This revelation holds a key to breaking the cycle of pain. You stand at a crossroads where you can either carry forward the legacy of hurt or choose to heal and transform it. To heal is to forgive not just the acts that wounded you, but the hidden anguish behind them. It is to embrace your mother with compassion, not as a perfect being, but as a fellow traveler on the road of human frailty and resilience. In this embrace, the mirror shatters, not in destruction, but in liberation. No longer does it reflect only fault and pain, but a new image of grace, understanding, and the possibility of change. This is the sacred space where healing begins, where the wounds of the past lose their power over your soul. Therefore, do not demand perfection, nor hold fast to the pain it has caused. Instead, see your mother through eyes softened by empathy, and know that by doing so, you plant the seeds of peace within yourself. The legacy of pain need not be your inheritance. It is within your power to break the chain and open a path toward healing. For both yourself and for the generations yet to come, there is a love more profound than words, a love often cloaked in silence, subtle as the dawn breaking softly over the horizon. Many children traverse the path of life unaware of this quiet love their mother has bestowed upon them. It is a love not marked by grand declarations or outward displays, but by the gentle constancy of sacrifice and the invisible threads that hold hearts together through the trials of existence. Consider the countless nights when your mother stayed awake, not out of restlessness or idleness, but out of a steadfast vigil of care. While the world around her lay in slumber, she kept watch over your fragile breath, your restless turning, your quiet cries. These nights were not spoken of, for they were neither spectacle nor boast, but the very essence of love expressed through tireless endurance. Such love is hidden in the folds of forgotten moments. The meals prepared with care though hunger gnawed at her own belly, the clothes mended silently by dim candlelight, the whispered prayers that rose to the heavens when all else was dark and still. This language of unspoken love is difficult for the heart to comprehend, for it demands a sensitivity that is often dulled by the noise of life and the expectation of visible affection. Yet, to heal, one must learn to listen with the heart, to hear not only the spoken word but also the silences filled with meaning. One must seek the presence of love beneath the surface, where actions speak louder than any utterance. I am reminded of a man named Ahmed, whose journey toward understanding was a testament to this truth. After the passing of his mother, he discovered among her belongings a worn notebook, fragile with age and use. Within its pages lay the hidden world of her heart, daily worries for his well-being, hopes for his future, prayers whispered in the solitude of dawn and dusk. Through these simple words, Ahmed uncovered a love far deeper than he had imagined, a love he had once mistaken for neglect or absence. His story is not unique. Many live with the misconception that love must be loud to be real, that it must be expressed through words or gifts to be acknowledged. But love often dwells in the quiet corners of sacrifice, in the moments unnoticed and unpraised. The mother's love is a river flowing beneath the surface, unseen but sustaining, powerful in its persistence. To embrace this truth is to begin healing the wounds that come from misunderstanding and unspoken grief. It is to realize that the love you sought was always present, though not always visible. This realization softens the heart, replacing bitterness with gratitude and judgment with compassion. Therefore, open your eyes to the subtle signs of love in the everyday sacrifices of your mother. See the prayers she whispered when she thought no one was listening. Feel the tenderness behind her silent struggles, and acknowledge the depth of her care that never sought applause. In learning this language, you do not only heal your relationship with your mother, but also open your heart to the infinite ways love can manifest in your life. This understanding becomes a balm for the soul, soothing the pain of what was missed and lighting a path toward forgiveness and peace. Remember, love's true voice is often found in silence. Listen closely, and you shall hear it speaking to you still. Healing remains a distant dream to those who clutch tightly to the chains of bitterness and resentment. Know this well, no true healing can unfold without the sacred act of forgiveness. Not merely forgiveness toward your mother, but also forgiveness toward yourself. For within your soul lie the echoes of her choices, her words, and her deeds, echoes that have shaped your pain and shaped your heart. Yet, despite these echoes, you possess a power greater than any past grievance, the power to break free from the prison of resentment. Forgiveness is no sign of weakness, no surrender to injustice. Rather, it is the greatest strength a person can summon. It requires a heart bold enough to release the heavy burden of pain and bitterness, a heart willing to rise above the dark clouds that threaten to shroud the light of peace. To forgive is to cut the chains that bind your spirit to wounds that no longer serve you. It is to choose freedom over captivity. Consider the story of Layla, a woman whose heart bore the scars of years spent estranged from her mother. Their relationship had fractured beneath the weight of misunderstandings, harsh words, and unmet expectations. For a long time, Layla wandered in a wilderness of anger and sorrow, believing that her mother's failures had extinguished any hope of reconciliation. But in time, something within her shifted, a recognition that to carry this bitterness was to carry a poison that would consume her own peace and joy. With trembling hands and a soul softened by humility, Layla returned to her mother's side. She came not with accusations or demands, but with open arms and a heart ready to heal. In that embrace, something sacred was restored. A bond once broken, now mended by the grace of forgiveness. This story holds a mirror to your own journey. You stand at a crossroads, faced with the choice to hold on to pain or to release it. Forgive not only to honor the love that once was, but to free yourself from the shackles of resentment that chain your spirit. Forgive to reclaim your peace and open the door to healing that awaits within your heart. The path of forgiveness is neither easy nor swift. It demands courage to confront the wounds that have festered, to face the hurt without turning away. It asks you to see your mother not only through the lens of past pain, but also through the understanding of her humanity, her imperfections, her struggles, and her own need for mercy. Yet, as difficult as this path may be, it is the only path leading to true liberation. To forgive is to honor the essence of love that once existed between you and your mother, even if it was flawed or hidden beneath layers of hurt. It is to acknowledge that beneath the mistakes and misunderstandings, a sacred connection remains, one that deserves to be healed, not broken beyond repair. When you forgive, you do not erase the past, but you release its power over your present and future. Moreover, forgiveness extends inward. It is not enough to forgive your mother, you must also forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for harboring anger, for moments of doubt, for failing to understand earlier. Self-forgiveness is a gift you give your soul, a balm that soothes wounds inflicted by self, judgment, and regret. Only when you embrace this full forgiveness toward others and yourself can the heart breathe freely again. So, step forward with a heart willing to forgive. Know that by doing so, you open the door to a peace that surpasses understanding, a peace that heals what was once broken. Let forgiveness be the bridge that carries you from pain to healing, from sorrow to joy, and from division to unity. This sacred journey is yours to undertake, and in its completion, you will find freedom, light, and the restoration of the love that has always awaited your return. Among the many gifts bestowed upon the human soul, none is more powerful, more necessary, and more transformative than compassion. It is the eternal thread that weaves together the fractured pieces of a broken heart and binds them into a tapestry of healing. Without compassion, the wounds inflicted by life and by those we love remain raw and festering. but with it, even the deepest pain is softened, and the heart begins to mend. Understand that compassion begins with seeing your mother not as a distant figure of fault or grievance, but as a human being, imperfect, vulnerable, and burdened with her own struggles. She is a soul who has weathered storms, who has given of herself in ways often unseen and unacknowledged. Her flaws are not marks of failure, but signs of her humanity. Her sacrifices, though perhaps silent or incomplete in your eyes, are threads of love woven through the fabric of her being. Think of compassion as a lens through which you can see beyond the surface of your mother's actions and words. It reveals the struggles behind the silence, the awareness beneath the sternness, and the love hidden behind moments of harshness or neglect. This lens does not excuse wrongdoing, but it offers a broader understanding, an understanding that opens the heart rather than hardening it. Yet, compassion is not reserved solely for your mother. Just as you extend kindness to her humanity, so must you offer the same mercy to yourself. The journey of navigating the tangled emotions of this relationship, anger, hurt, longing, and confusion, is not an easy one. It tests the limits of your patience and the strength of your spirit. You may find yourself caught in cycles of blame and sorrow, feeling lost or undeserving of peace. In these moments, be gentle with yourself. Recognize that you too are imperfect, a soul striving toward light in the midst of shadows. Compassion for oneself is the foundation upon which all other healing rests. Without it, bitterness may fester. Without it, the heart remains a battlefield. But with compassion, you begin to understand your own wounds and needs, allowing space for growth and renewal. This sacred thread of compassion, when embraced fully, transforms the nature of pain itself. It softens the sharp edges of anger, melts the ice of resentment, and opens the door to forgiveness. What once seemed unbearable becomes a source of insight. You come to see your mother's life and your own not as a story of brokenness alone, but as a tapestry rich with complexity, struggle, and the possibility of grace. In this transformation lies the true essence of healing. Compassion turns suffering into understanding, and understanding into peace. Peace that does not deny the pain, but embraces it as part of the human experience. Peace that allows the heart to rest, knowing that love can exist even amid imperfection. Consider the countless souls who have walked this path before you, who have chosen compassion over judgment, mercy over bitterness, and in doing so have found a freedom that surpasses all hardship. Their hearts became gardens where forgiveness and love could grow, watered by the gentle rain of empathy. Let this compassion be the thread you hold fast to as you move forward. Let it guide your thoughts and soften your words. Let it remind you that your mother is more than her mistakes, and you are more than your wounds. Both of you are beings worthy of love, mercy, and healing. In the embrace of compassion, the heart finds its way back to wholeness. It is the light that dispels darkness, the balm that soothes pain, and the bridge that reconnects what was once broken. Walk this path with courage and patience, and you will discover a peace that not only heals the past, but also illuminates the future with hope and love everlasting. Beloved souls, pause and reflect deeply upon the sacred truth that lies before you. Your mother, like the earth that cradles the seed, is a vessel of both life and lessons. Her love may be imperfect, her humanity undeniable, yet within her rests a wellspring of meaning that shapes your very being. She is neither saint nor sinner, but a fragile creation of the divine, walking a path marked by both light and shadow. To seek healing without first embracing this truth is to chase the wind, forever grasping at what slips away. Consider the layers of her existence, the sacrifices unseen, the burdens carried silently, the love expressed in ways subtle and sometimes misunderstood. To truly heal the wounds that bind your heart, you must walk the path of understanding, an understanding that rises above judgment and embraces the fullness of her humanity. It is only by opening your eyes to the depth of her struggle that you begin to see her love not as flawed or absent, but as a force that has moved through imperfection and endurance to reach you. Understanding alone, however, is not enough. It must be joined by forgiveness, a forgiveness that frees your spirit from the chains of resentment and anger. Forgiveness does not erase the past, nor does it deny the pain that has been endured. Rather, it releases you from the burden of carrying these wounds in isolation. When you forgive, you create space for grace to enter, for the heart to breathe, and for healing to unfold. This forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself as much as to your mother, a light that pierces the darkness of past hurts and reveals a path toward peace. Yet, even understanding and forgiveness find their fullest expression only when bound together by compassion. Compassion, the sacred thread that connects heart to heart, allows you to hold both your mother's flaws and your own in gentle hands. It is the recognition that both of you are imperfect travelers on a shared journey, seeking wholeness and peace. Compassion transforms wounds into wisdom, pain into patience, and separation into connection. When you grasp the depths of your mother's love and struggle through the lens of compassion, you begin to dissolve the walls that have kept your souls apart. You realize that her love, though sometimes hidden beneath layers of hardship, is a precious gift, one that shaped your life in ways seen and unseen. This realization softens the heart, opens the spirit, and invites healing where once there was only hurt. May your hearts find peace in this knowledge, and may the journey toward healing illuminate your soul as the dawn breaks the darkness. Like the morning light that gently scatters the night, so too can understanding, forgiveness, and compassion disperse the shadows within, revealing the sacred bond that forever links you to your mother. Embrace this path with courage and humility, and know that in doing so, you not only heal your own wounds, but also honor the profound legacy of love that carries you forward. Walk this journey not as one burdened by past pain, but as one awakened to the possibility of peace, reconciliation, and profound transformation. In the stillness of your heart, hear the silent prayers of love that have crossed time and circumstance, waiting for your recognition and return. In this sacred space, may you find the healing you seek and the peace that your soul longs for.